In Arizona, you are watching D-backs on deck right here on 12. Cameron Cox, Lena Washington right outside the D-backs dugout as we get you set for D-backs and Rockies right here on 12. Something different to start the show when the GM wants to sit down and have a chat. Guess what? That's what we do right off the top. GM Mike Hazen joining us right now live. Mike, first of all, it's good to see you. After a sweep, I was texting Derek Hall last night. I was like, how you doing? He goes, how you think I'm doing? So I'll ask you the same question, Mike, after winning 4 straight. How are you doing like that?
Yeah, we're playing better baseball now, so it's good. You know, I think it's been pretty consistent here for the last couple of weeks, which is good to see. Started to swing the bats a little bit. The pitching's been great. You know, bullpen's done a really good job. So we're trying to tie all this stuff together, but we're still a work in progress, and we got a ways to go. And the National League's been very competitive so far this year, so we have some ground to make up, but it's going to start with us playing better baseball.
There we go.
Yes.
We're going to get to all the baseball stuff here in just a moment. But, Mike, it was really cool Monday night out here at the ballpark. You guys presenting that donation, $200,000 right there, of course, to the Ivory Brain Center. Just what did that mean to do that and to do that in your wife's honor?
Yeah, you know, that's something we've done. Thankfully, you know, Derek and Debbie and Ken have helped us as a family kind of try to make an impact here in an area that was obviously a very traumatic time for us. And, you know, keeping Nicole's name at the forefront, obviously it is for us, but in publicly too, you know, for her friends and our family is so important. And then the last thing is us continue to try to contribute a way to help find a cure for something that doesn't have one. And, you know, the diagnosis that she got, we talked a lot about not having other people have to get that diagnosis, that there's more hope associated with if you are afflicted with this, that there's paths, there's treatments, and that's going to take money and research and development, and they're doing that over there, and we're so grateful. And all the work that Dr. Sinai is doing and the care he took of Nicole and continuing to try to find a cure for brain cancer, and we're still pushing towards that.
I know we talked last Mother's Day, and you see the shirts honoring Nicole still throughout the clubhouse. What has the baseball community and family meant for your family during this time, and what's the response been like just seeing the work you've done in your wife's honor?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, we play in a hyper-competitive environment. You know, we're all enemies every day, but we're all friends off the field, even though we go to battle every day.
Sure.
And watching, you know, I think everyone kind of helps take care of the people that are in this world, and I'm very grateful for that, and the support and love for my kids and for me and the friends that I have that have reached out that helped do this, and all the guys wearing the T-shirts means so much when my kids come to the games and see, you know, all the players wearing it pregame, and it just means so much. It's a little thing, you know, but it ends up being a really big thing for us, and so we're very appreciative of that.
The fun continues, Mike, you know, in Nicole's honor.
Yeah.
I know baseball is special, wins are special. I know you have a lot of favorite baseball memories, but to continue that fun in your wife's name, is that up there for you?
Yeah, we're not going to stop. You know, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying to raise as much money as humanly possible, and I'm willing to donate money too and put all that in there and do anything that we can to find a way to help support the guys that are doing the stuff, the nurses and the doctors and the researchers on the front lines to help the next person not have to get that diagnosis.
Absolutely. You mentioned just the energy in the ballpark this week. Take us through maybe what your emotions were like seeing that first career walk-off for Ketel Marte, the longest tenured guy in the clubhouse, for him to have that moment. What was going through your mind?
Did you flip the hat? Did you flip or something?
No. I'm pretty even keeled during baseball games. Yeah. That's not true. That's
we know that. Come on, we've seen you celebrate from time to time.
That's not what happens. Yes, I was very, very excited. You know, it's one of those games where it's 162 of these things, so you kind of get in a rhythm for how these games get played, and you don't, from our standpoint, you don't necessarily anticipate something like that happening.
Sure.
You know, it happens a couple times a year.
You hope for it.
You never know when it's coming. Oh yeah, I mean, I hope for it in the first inning.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those games we were losing. We were down to the last out, and at that point, you know, you need magic to happen.
Sure.
You need magic to happen, and you don't always get magic. Sometimes the other team gets magic. You know, we had that last Thursday in Texas, so it was good to get that one right back. But it's such a special moment for him. You know, he's worked so hard. He's played so well on defense this year. I know the offense, he got a little unlucky early.
Sure.
But he's played so hard on defense. He's been so good at second base. We know the offense with Perdomo and with Corbin and with Gabby and those guys, and Ketel is going to start to come. And as they start to come together, we should be a pretty strong team. We should be a pretty dangerous team out there all night, every day. and it will be exciting to watch when that happens.
Yeah, especially with Marte heating up right now, right at the right time.
Totally.
What have you seen from Ryan Walschmidt here early on? You guys obviously made the decision to bring him up, and he's been another player that I think has been pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, so I look at it the exact opposite way. He's been the model of consistency from what we've asked him to do down in the 9-hole. And, I've said this yesterday on the radio, and I believe this. I thought when our offense was at its best was when Perdomo was hitting 9th and setting the table for everybody. And obviously he graduated coming in 5th in the MVP, and now he's in a more prominent role in the offense. But we've kind of missed that in the 9-hole of somebody that's been down there and just getting on base consistently. So Cattell is constantly hitting with runners on base. Like, we're trying to push that as much as possible, and he's done a great job with that so far.
Yeah, he was a guy who popped in spring training. I know that was something that Torrey was asked about pretty consistently. To see him kind of materialize immediately and have that impact, how gratifying is that to see?
It's great. Yeah, it was a challenge in spring training with both probably he and Brandon Garcia in terms of, should they have made the team? Should they have been on the team? And, we made the choice to send both of them down, and I hope we were right in that, but time will tell. But I feel like the versions of both of those guys that have come up here probably benefit from being down in Reno for 4 to 6 weeks. And, look, getting that experience down there, I always have thought, when a player makes the opening day roster, there's a lot of pressure on that player to prove that we made the right decision, that the manager made the right decision. When they don't have to do that, but that's human nature. When you come up on May 15th, no one really cares. They're just like, yeah, you're going to fit in the lineup, and the team's won 2 out of 3, so all's good here.
Yep.
You just become a sideline story to that. And I feel like that sometimes puts the player in a better position for success in that, the focus isn't about them, even though it's your debut. And so there'll be some of that, but it's not the sole focus, whereas the opening day conversations can be that way. So hopefully it's benefited both of those guys. We have certainly played very well since both of those guys have come up here.
Yes.
Mike, speaking of being right, I'm sure, maybe this is the wrong word to use, but it seemed like somewhat of a gamble to bring Paul Sewell back. But you guys invested in him, and I just got to talking to him in the locker room. You could just see he's just so gratified to be back to his old self once again. What have you seen from him and being back to that closure that you all believed and helped you guys get to the World Series?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that. I think his ability to pound the strike zone. I mean, he's going after guys. I think in that specific environment, 8th, 9th inning of a game, the fewer base runners we put on base, the less damage that you're going to take on and you just have to be aggressive. And you're going to give up a dinger sometimes.
It happens.
It happens. And and he's done that a couple times. And it is what it is. Every closer in baseball that happens to. But if there's not 2 runners on base and it's a solo shot and you're up by 3, you win by 2. And I think that's what his experience, his ability, having gone through that, I think that's what matters when we talk about having a closer.
Yeah.
It's the mental stuff. It's not the physical stuff, right? It's not how hard you throw. It's that you're going to have the guts to throw the ball over the plate in this situation because you're going to make him beat you.
Yep.
And I think we benefited from when Shelby was doing that last year. I thought Shelby did that a lot. And when we've had our best runs in the 9th inning, that's what we've gotten. He's done that so far.
He hasn't flinched. It's been cool to see.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. What was your reaction when Corbin got hit in the head the other night?
And is
that one of the craziest Little League home runs that you've seen?
Anytime anything happens to Corbin, I don't
hold
feel
your breath
good
a little
about
bit.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. My mind
He's
goes,
been through it.
My mind goes to bad places. I just like, please be okay. Please be okay.
He's a machine, though. He just
Mike,
gets right back
he
into
does.
Mike,
it.
He is a machine.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you watching baseball, but like to get hit like that, sliding into third, pop up, holding his head, and then
That's
finish the
something
home
that like
run.
Will Ferrell would write into a movie.
Totally.
Almost.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, but to see him just come back even from the hand injury and then to come back and again finish the play there.
Yeah, he's an amazing player.
Yeah.
He's an amazing player. We're lucky we have him.
Yeah.
There we go, Mike. Any thoughts on this series with the Rockies coming up? We'll get you out here on that.
No, none more than we need to continue to play good baseball. Every one of these series is important. Every opponent is dangerous. These guys are way better than they've been. They're definitely climbing. We're going to need to work hard to beat them, and I know these guys are motivated to do it. So we want to try to build some momentum here as we're going through May, and we're starting to get guys into form, and we're playing good ball.
There we go. Mike Hazen, appreciate the time. Thanks for
You're
stopping
welcome.
by.
Thank you
Sure.
so much.
There we go.
And thank you for all the good work you're doing for the Ivy Brain Tumor Center as well.